Those of you that are seeing us on YouTube Live as well. It's exciting for us to be here this evening to talk about phenomenal gemstones as one of our gem jamming sessions at the National Design Center. The gem jamming sessions are run by Tanya and myself. Anything that's related to gemstones, Tanya, who's the dean and founder of the school, will be presenting, and she has over 40 years of experience working in the jewelry industry and a lot of experience with many of these lovely gemstones, both as a designer and as an industry player, either a wholesaler or a retailer or a jeweler, but then also as a gemologist. So today we're going to be sharing with you a little bit about phenomenal gems, and before we get started on the phenomenal gems session, we wanted to tell you a little bit about who we are here at the school. We have a 2-minute video that will share with you more about what we do here at JDMIS. But before I get into that video, I just wanted to highlight that this is one of the sessions that we are running at the National Design Center. We have many different sessions, 3 or 4 times a week, including things like gem spotlights on different types of gemstones, as well as things like looking into what it takes to design a piece of jewelry, what it takes to manufacture a piece of jewelry, and even some fun things like the diamond debate, whether or not synthetic diamonds or natural diamonds should be your next choice for a diamond purchase. So with that, let's get on and find out more about JDMIS and then jump straight into the presentation about phenomenal gems.
Since 2007, the Jewelry Design and Management International School has given thousands of people the confidence to create quality jewelry. Established in Singapore, in the heart of Southeast Asia, JDMIS has conducted courses for some of the world's most distinguished jewelry companies, as well as passionate amateurs and those ready for a career in the jewelry industry. Specializing in the jewelry arts, JDMIS provides exceptional education in jewelry design, fabrication, gemology, and business. The tools that students receive from JDMIS on their first day have traveled with many along the road of jewelry making success. Tanya Sadao, founder of the JDMIS, is an award-winning jewelry designer and renowned jewelry educator with over 30 years of experience training the jewelry industry. Tanya, with her team of expert jewelry artists and instructors, created the JDMIS curriculum to be comprehensive yet flexible. Small class sizes, personalized attention, and an unmatched support network ensure that each participant leaves with the knowledge, skill, and confidence to succeed in the jewelry industry. Designed for the jewelry trade, training at JDMIS is fast-paced and packed with useful practical information. But with a diverse range of participants, courses are also great fun. Learning at their own pace, participants study the latest information about gemstones and jewelry styles. They gain confidence using the best of traditional and contemporary techniques and learn how to apply each of these skills to their businesses. All JDMIS courses are completely modular and they can be taken individually. For each skill they learn, students receive a certificate and can combine these skills to receive a comprehensive diploma qualification. Graduates in more than 42 countries delight friends and relatives with their unique creations. Many graduates showcase their pieces online, and JDMIS's brightest stars operate their own successful retail jewelry businesses, designing and producing exquisite jewelry that enchants their customers. The possibilities are endless. What will you create?
Right, we're ready to begin, and welcome everybody, and hopefully everybody likes phenomenal gems, and if you don't like them, oh, you love them, very good. If you hadn't heard about them or some of them that you don't know, then hopefully we can introduce you to some very interesting materials tonight. So we're going to talk about 9 different types of phenomena, And we will start with asterism. Asterism is basically the star effect. You probably know the star ruby and the star sapphire. There are others that come with the star. So we'll talk about all of those different ones. Chatoyancy. This is the cat's eye. People often know the cat's eye chrysoberyl, but actually cat's eye chrysoberyl is not the only one either, but it is one of the most expensive ones in the list. Then we have aventurescence. Now some of you might have heard of this, some of you might not, but there's a very famous gem that is green. It looks exactly like jade, and in many cases it is sold as jade. In fact, they call it Taiwan jade, and that is aventurine quartz. So it is a common material, it's been around for a long time, but it has something that jade will never have, and that is the glitter effect. So we'll be talking about that one, plus we'll be talking about other ones that have the glitter in them, which make them look very exciting and very nice. Then there's iridescence. Now we call this an oil on water effect because when you pour oil on water, you know that effect that it gives with all the colors of the rainbow. And that's what we're looking at here. Iridescence is all those colors. And very nice, interesting materials there. I'll show you some others that also have that same effect. And a similar oil on water effect, which is an iridescent color, but this one more towards the blues and more towards the violets, is a very particular gem called labradorite. And so with this one, we actually call this effect labradorescence. So it is unique to this one gemstone. And another oil on water effect, but the difference between this one and the others is that this one is on opaque material. And what is opaque? Well, shells are opaque, pearls are opaque, and when we have shell and pearls that have irregular surfaces, then we get all the colors of the rainbow. It means that the light reflects on them beautifully. So another is adulorescence. Adulorescence is only found in one material, moonstone. Moonstone is very highly prized by many people. In fact, it goes way back in history. It's on the birthstone plate. It's one of the 12 birthstones, original birthstones as well. So if we look at the 8th one, that's going to be play of color, and this is unique to only opals. Now some of you might like opals. There are white opals, there are black opals, but there's a lot more than just white and black opals. And people think opals are from Australia. There are more places we can get opals from as well. So I will be showing you a few other interesting ones to look at. This is the last one. The last one is probably one of the most expensive of the entire lot, and it is called the change of color, particularly this one, Alexandrite chrysoberyl. It can be super expensive in good quality, and what I've done tonight is I've picked out some of the prices that I have seen that are on the internet, that you can even look them up if you want to, but just to let you know what we have as far as current day prices as well, so you can get familiar with what you can spend. Of course, depends on the quality, and there are many different qualities around, but I'm looking at top quality versus, you know, not such good quality. All right, so let's look at how these things happen. These things happen due to unusual reactions to light. It means that not all gems do react to the light, only certain ones are going to react. And our reactions are reflection. That is when the light strikes an inclusion, something that's inside the material, and it will bounce off and come back to our eye. And so that causes that light to come, like the glitter effect, or like the star, like chatoyancy. Those would all be what we call reflection. Then we have diffraction. This is very different. The light goes in and then spreads out. And as it spreads out, it causes that sheen of colors, as we saw on the iridescence. We have scattering. Scattering, the light goes in, and some things inside the material cause the light to just go here, there, and everywhere. And that's what gives us play of color. And then finally, the last one is absorption, which is unique to the change of color. And depending on which light, we have different waves running through the material, which will produce the different lighting. So I've kind of simplified that a little bit to make it fast, but that's what we have, that's what we're looking at when we have our phenomenal gems. So in asterism, people know the star. We've got the star ruby, the star sapphire. We've also got a black star sapphire, very common, something that we have lots of these in India as well, and they're pretty popular actually. These are not too expensive. Now, can anyone guess why they're not that expensive? The star looks pretty nice on most of them.
They fill up the cracks.
Not because they're treated. Let's say we had an untreated one, it still wouldn't be that expensive compared to the star ruby or the star sapphire. And that's because these two are definitely more rare. This is a lot more common, and plus the color is brown. We call it a black, but it's actually a brown color. So it's not the most popular color. Actually, men like this one more than women. Women like the very colorful ones. Yes. Now, in order to get the star, one thing is very clear. We have to cut the gemstone in a very specific way. It has to be in a cabochon. Cabochon means that it has no facets on it. And without that nice soft dome, you are not going to see the star. It's not going to happen. So that means that people who are cutting these things, they really have to know what they're doing to cut them properly, to orient the star looking from the top and not orient it on the side or on the bottom or something like that. The other thing we have to do is we have to look at the quality of two things: quality of the color and quality of the star. And both of those don't usually come together. Sometimes we have great color and we have a really poor looking star, or the star's not very clear, it's very fuzzy, it's not easy to see. You can see that up here, right? Now the color is also not great on this one, but the star is not very clear. Here you see the stars very clearly. So the star has to be crisp, it has to be sharp. And if we get crisp and sharp star and good color at the same time, we are looking at very expensive material. Now, just to give you an example, I've got a price here on this ruby, 22.15 carats, $232,000 US. So quite expensive material in good quality if you can find it, because finding something large and with that good star and good color is difficult. All right. We also have asterism in diopside. This is diopside. Do you notice what's different here? Diopside, tanzanite, garnet, and even moonstone, they only have 4 rays instead of 6 rays. The ruby previously and the sapphire, they all had 6 rays. So the stars can come either in 6 or 4, and of course that's going to be very much dependent on the formation of that material, because we have 7 different crystal systems, and when they grow in the different formations, they will either produce, a hexagonal formation will produce 6-rayed stars. If you have a cubic, it'll produce a 4-rayed star. So that's why we have the different stars. And this one's quite rare, the tanzanite, and we do get a lot of moonstone, and of course quartz. Quartz is the dust of the earth. We do get a lot of quartz that will come with phenomena as well, and different types of phenomena. So these are very spectacular and very special. If ever you find one with more than 6 or more than 4, wow, 12, 24, these are exceptional. These are like unique, like finding a person with 3 arms or 4 legs. I mean, it's not normal. And so therefore these would be extremely rare and extremely special. And this one here, as an example, it was a 90-carat stone, which is quite large, and it sold at Bonham's, interestingly, for so low. Now, why do you suppose a 90-carat star with so many rays sold for so little?
They didn't know. It was
People didn't know what it was. Nobody absolutely knew. It was like they didn't know it had any value. It's like, this is a weird thing. But actually, if we go and look at this stone today, we would probably pay a lot more for it. The more people know about these things, then you see the price ends up going up. Okay, how is it caused? It's very simple. We have minute parallel inclusions in these, these materials, which are not present in the ones that don't produce the star. So we have normal ruby that doesn't have any star, is because it doesn't have this stuff in it. So these are inclusions, and if you get them very, very fine and at specific angles, these are at 60 and 120 degree angles to one another, and this you can only see at 80 to 100 power magnification. You see, it's not eye visible, right? So basically the light's hitting these things and bouncing off those little inclusions, and that's what gives us our 4 or 6 red stars. So let's take a look at our next one, which is chatoyancy. People wonder, why do we have such strange words? I mean, chatoyancy is rather weird. Actually, it's a French word, and the word chat is cat in French. So that's where the cat's eye is coming from, the word chat, and chatoyancy is just a French word for it. So again, this has to be properly oriented. If you cut it and you cut it wrong, you will not get a really nice eye. We also look for very good quality eye. We look for very good color. And typically, they're all cabochons. They have to be cabochons. But typically they come in this lovely kind of yellowy orange color. And they also come in this kind of yellowish green color. So either one of these is good. Most people prefer the warmer color. This is a nice warm and very beautiful color, and we're looking for the sharpness of the eye again, the color, and the transparency of the material. So the more opaque these things look, then the lower the quality is and the less you will pay. So again, if we look at this beautiful one, 19 carats, and I know I'm picking a big one, it's rather exceptional, $48,000. Really big cost for something that is really small. Yeah. And if we look at how chatoyancy happens, it is again inclusions, but this time those little needles, which are very small and they cannot be usually seen by eye, are running perpendicular to the eye. And because they're running perpendicular to the eye, it causes a kind of sheen. But you also have to use the light. If you're not using a strong light on these things, you might miss it. It's not easy to see without just regular light up here, you wouldn't notice it. You take a proper pen light and you move the pen light backwards and forwards, and then you will see the movement of the phenomena. Now here's a very nice cat's eye on a tanzanite, which is also very rare, another 19.38 carat stone, and this one was only 35,000 US dollars, which is about 46,000 Singapore dollars. And here I've got a really nice one. It's only 6.5 carats. Look at the difference in price. 11,375 for this one 6 carat. That's a 19 carat. How come? Because everybody is looking for cat's eye chrysoberyl. Cat's eye chrysoberyl is the big one. It's the one that everybody wants. The popularity is there. Most people are not looking for a cat's eye tanzanite. So sometimes, again, if you get there and you find something that is not that much in demand, you can buy it for a really good price. Yep. The glitter effect, aventurescence. Now, sometimes your aventurine quartz can look not so pretty, but when it's a good green color and when the sparkling effect on it is very good, and again, you need the pen light to move the pen light around to see that sparkling effect, but when it is really good, this material is beautiful. And it does look like jade. A lot of people confuse it for jade, and especially when it's carved into these lovely pieces, it does resemble jade. Another material is sunstone. This is coming from Oregon in the USA, and this particular one usually comes in this lovely orange color, which is beautiful, but today we can find it in greens and we can find it in colorless as well. And this is an example also of sunstone. This one I purchased myself from the US, and it costs in the range of about $180 for just one small strand of the material. Yes, so it's not inexpensive. Again, the more the glitter and the more beautiful the color, the more expensive it's likely to be. And so what is it that causes the glitter? Well, inside we have little tiny inclusions that reflect light. And those little inclusions could be copper, they could be hematite, something like metallic looking inclusions. Many times they're mica. This is what mica looks like. If you go mining, you find mica, this is what it looks like in the earth. But these little bits, they break very easily into small pieces, and you do find them incorporated into various types of gems. And when the light strikes, you get the glittering. The thing is that they're in different directions, in many different ways. So when you put the light across, you will see different ones glitter in different ways, some bigger, some smaller, and because of the directions, they glitter at different times. So sometimes you hardly see the glittering, which is not great. When we see lots of glitter, the value is higher. When we don't see so much, it's not so high. Iridescence. Well, we see iridescence in lots of things. Some bugs have very interesting iridescence. Some bubbles, soap bubbles have iridescence, and we can think of when we've seen those. But as far as gems go, well, we've got this fabulous material right here, which is amalite. Slightly different from ammonite. Ammonite doesn't have the beautiful colors. Amalite has the colors. And we have things like peacock stone, etc., which have this lovely range, all the colors of the rainbow on them. So the more colors, again, the more attractive this material is going to be. Some of the most popular ones, a fire agate. Now, if you've seen a piece of fire agate as you go out and you go into jewelry stores, and if you are at the markets, maybe they don't have the best quality fire agate. But when you do see a really nice piece, within it has those colors, and those colors move around as you move the light, and it is spectacular. It makes your heart miss a beat, in fact, when you have a really good one. This is quite a small piece. It's about a carat, and this particular one cost $900 US just for this one piece. And you might say, agate? How come agate is so expensive, right? Because it's fire agate, because the beauty of this material. Not every piece is going to come, especially this one, with the pink color in it. Sometimes there are certain colors that are harder to get, and those colors will also increase the value of the material. So when you see pink in it, wow, pink, purple, red, those are usually the best colors. This one here is an amalite, and I want to highlight that these are fossils. They're fossilized shells, and these kind of shells have been around for about 250 million years. That's how old they are, and they can come in different sizes. This is quite a large one. It's about this big, and it is from Canada, 477,000 US. So these things can be, especially in large size, really expensive. We can buy little ones today. The little ones are not so expensive. You can buy them for $5 or $10, and they're absolutely beautiful. So look out for them, because they're nice, and you feel that you're wearing something very special when it's that old.
To attract luck. Yes, no, the feng shui.
Sure. Yes, when we talk about gems and mystical and magical properties of gems, I am a believer, but we're not going to talk about it today because it takes too long. But yeah, that's another topic. What we'll do is one night we'll have a whole night on mystical magical gems. How's that? Right. Okay, last one, the rainbow obsidian. Not too expensive, but look how big it is. It's a huge piece. You can see a person's hands holding it there. And this material also has many, many different colors in it and can be absolutely beautiful. And yes, the obsidian is supposed to be very lucky and bring good luck.
Usually the normal is black, right?
Yes, this one here is black, but when you put your light on it, that's when you see all the colors come out. And that's what I mean. Not all obsidian can be rainbow obsidian. Not all rubies are going to be star rubies. We only have a very small percentage of ones that are special and that react very specially to light. And when you find them, you should grab onto them because they're few and far between. We also get iridescence inside gems, by the way, just to show you that, yes, we have fractures sometimes, and those fractures could either be filled with liquids or they could be filled with air, and sometimes again that can react and cause a sheen of color within the stone. This looks like a liquid one, that's more from air. Very typical in quartz, calcite, topaz and things like that. Again, these tend to be collector's items. A lot of people do look for these, and then they go pretty quickly. So if you find one, it's great that you can find one. Then we have labradorescence, and this is a very beautiful stone. Now, the problem with this stone is that not everybody has seen the good quality. Most people think of this gem as a kind of a gray-like stone. And when you put a light on it, it has a little bit of a blue light, but most of the time it's gray, and you need the pen light to see the beautiful blue color. So we don't want to buy this stuff, and when we go out to dinner, pull out the pen light and show, right? Because we want to be able to see that color. And there is material that in normal light, it'll catch in a certain angle. It catches, and you see that sheen of beautiful blue or purple color, and it is absolutely breathtaking and gorgeous. So in good quality, a big piece like this can be about $1,000. It is possible, but in general, this material is very inexpensive, and yet it can really make you happy because of the coloring. If you get a good one, it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. All right, what else? We have Orient. Now we said Orient comes on shells, and it also comes on pearls. So both shells and pearls are made from basically the same material. It's a secretion that comes from either the oyster or the mussel or the mollusk. And what happens is that usually it has a kind of very irregular surface. Now it might feel smooth to you, it might look smooth, but that slightly irregular surface manages to catch the light and spread it in a way that we can see all the colors of the rainbow. And that you can see from here, lots of beautiful colors. And here, lots. Now this is called a power shell. And we get a lot of these as abalone. It comes from, this particular one is coming from New Zealand. Yes. And we can cut this up and make it into all kinds of beautiful pieces. In fact, what they do, they use it for inlay. They inlay guitars with it. They inlay furniture with it. They've used it for many, many years to do some amazing things with shell. But shell in general is not very expensive. You can buy a nice one of these for maybe $20, $30. Yet, all natural color. Absolutely amazing, very vibrant, and very beautiful. Now, the more orient a pearl has, the more expensive it's going to be. So, yes, we look for round pearls. Very difficult to get orient on a round pearl, in fact, and the smoother the pearl is, the less orient it's likely to have. So when we have the irregular shaped pearls, we get a lot of orient. And that's why you see these two pearls here, yes, with a little bit of gold and some very tiny diamonds, but $4,500 for one pair, right? And that is mainly due to that fabulous phenomena that you can see there on the surface of the pearls. All right, then we have our adulorescence. Now, for those of you who love moonstone, and moonstone is a beautiful stone, it's one of my favorite stones. I wear one. I wear this one every single day. I love it. And yes, very good for all kinds of things. Supposed to be very healthy, supposed to be bring you a lot of good luck, etc. Ordinary moonstones tend to be white, and they have, when you put a light on them, they have this billowy light that moves around inside. And usually the ordinary ones, not too expensive, and that white light is interesting, but it's a bit bland. And then we have the most magnificent bluish light that you can find, and the best of the best ones are coming from, believe it or not, Burma. The ones with the really super blue and that look absolutely phenomenal coming from Burma. And here you can see a 27.37 carats, quite unusual. You'll notice that the clarity is not very good. That is absolutely normal on a moonstone. So you get a moonstone that's absolutely transparent, see-through and clear. Wow, that's going to be a high quality already. And then if you get it with the blue color, the blue sheen in it, that's even better and even more expensive. So even though this one, the clarity is not that good, the price is still $2,800, which some people consider to be quite a lot. We do have moonstone in other colors. They come in oranges, they come in gray color, and they come with stars, usually a 4-rayed star, but some have been found with 6-rayed stars as well. And they come with cat's eye as well. So it's very interesting because it can have more than one phenomena with this particular material. Now we come to play of color. And play of color is a very interesting phenomena because you will have difficulty finding two gems exactly the same. Every one of these is absolutely unique. And when we talk about opals, because this is really unique to opals only, and when we talk about opals, everybody knows white opals, everybody knows black opals, everybody knows that opals are coming from Australia, right? Actually, there's a lot more to opals than that. So how does it happen? What's happening is that the opals are formed of silica spheres. So they have a high content of water, sometimes between 6 to maybe even 20%. And that makes them very delicate material. But all these little silica beads that you will see here, the light enters, and sometimes it'll enter in and bounce off, and sometimes it'll go down to the next level and bounce off, and sometimes it'll go even through down to further levels. And the deeper it goes, usually the more reds we find. And the more shallow it goes, then we'll get more blues and more greens. So this is why actually most opals, the more red flashes, the more valuable they will be, because it's harder for that light to get deeper into the stone. So we look for the red flashes both on the white and on the black. But do you notice which one of these is definitely more beautiful? The darker one is more beautiful. Does anybody know why the darker one is more beautiful? All black ones are going to be more beautiful than white ones.
Yeah, this is more striking.
Yes, because the color shows better. Color pops on a dark background. It really doesn't look great on a white background. It's the same when we teach people how to draw and we teach them how to color jewelry. When we color, we always color on a dark background. We never color on a light background because it would look so insipid. It would just not have the effect that we want. So dark background, usually much nicer, but of course we also have to realize that the white ones are more common and the black ones are definitely more rare than the white ones. So looking at a white opal, approximately a 2 carat, a reasonable, nice looking commercial white opal could be somewhere around $440, very easy to find. And a black opal, and this is a much smaller size, that was a 2 carat, this one we're saying is almost a 1 carat, much more rare, much more costly, something like this where you can really see the play of color, about $8,500. So price is really much, much greater on the blacks. So when we say white opals, okay, white opals are coming from here. This is Cooper Pedy. It's kind of in the south of Australia. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's really difficult to get to. It takes a long time, and if you fly, it's hugely expensive to get there. But you can go and you can do some fossicking, which means you can go in and dig around and you can find bits and pieces and little opals if you like. Don't expect to find anything magnificent because there are people that live there that don't find things that are magnificent in years. So, but it is possible to go and to visit and to go fossicking for white opals. But the white opals are fairly common. This is where the black opals are coming from. This is lightning rich. And this particular area is a lot more difficult to get to. In fact, half of the year it's actually underwater. So that makes it really, really difficult for them to do the mining. And so they have limited time where they can do the mining, and much more difficult to find the black opals anyway. So that's also one of the reasons why the price is much higher, because of the rarity of those opals. Now we also find things called boulder opals, which are very beautiful. This is ironstone, and the opal material is kind of within that rock or that boulder that's on the outside, and this is coming from this area here in Queensland. And these are gaining in popularity now. I recently bought one, and I bought it for $150. And it's just a small piece like this, but it's very beautiful. And so a lot of people now looking for these to wear in jewelry. What else? We have crystal opals, which could come from anywhere. The difference between the crystal ones is they're quite transparent. They have the play of color, but they're not a white body color or a dark body color. They're actually completely transparent. You can see through them. And we have the matrix opal. Now, this is phenomenal stuff. This is the same kind of iron stone that was on the boulder opal, but here we see a network of little veins, and the opal is infilling those veins, and the vibrancy of the color is absolutely amazing. It's a very strong purple, a strong green, a strong blue, and it's beautiful. Absolutely, absolutely amazing when you see it. All right, so other types of opals, the Ethiopian opal. Now, we didn't have any other opals, we didn't have Ethiopian opals until 2008. So these are kind of young, they're new to the market. And very beautiful, very good play of color, a little bit looking like crystal opals that we find in Australia. And they are gaining in popularity, and the prices are going up already with these. This is about, you can say a 6 carat or 7 carat one's about $700 at this point, but they are absolutely breathtaking and just as beautiful as the Australian ones. And then we have the Mexican fire opal. Now, if you've never seen this one, gorgeous material, gorgeous, from Mexico. It is expensive. This is just a rough piece. Remember that when we cut something, we lose a lot of the rough, we lose a lot of the material. So a finished product is going to be maybe only 50% the size, and that will cause the price to go up substantially. And here's a very beautiful one as well. Now this one is less costly because it has no play of color. So the Mexican opals or fire opals come with play of color and without play of color as well. Just like a ruby can come with a star or without a star, right? All right, and lastly, we have our change of color. Now, the most important one to look for in the market is the Alexandrite chrysoberyl. A lot of people know this stone, a lot of people looking for it. What it should be doing is should be changing from a green that looks like an emerald green to a red that looks like a ruby red. And that is the considered to be the best. Now, do they all change to those two colors? No, not at all. They can change to these colors. This is also a chrysoberyl. And it's also a change of color chrysoberyl. So we have change of color, different types of color that can be achieved, but of course this is going to be much less costly. So here you see an 18 carat and $500,000 for something like that. Now that is an exceptional piece. Very clean, very good color change. Sometimes if you do, it's a question of looking at the stone with the two different lightings. So we have the white light, which is like daylight, and we have the incandescent light, which is like the pen light or the yellowish light on an inside light. So that color change can definitely happen in other colors, but if you find it really good and good emerald to good ruby color, then this is the most costly and difficult to get. Lots of people are looking for them. Not everybody's getting the ones that they want, so you really have to search for that. Here we have others that also come with change of color, so it's not the only change of color material. We've got Alexandrite-like sapphire. I have a little Alexandrite-like sapphire that changes from yellow to orange, and another one that changes from yellow to pink. So they do happen in other colors as well. Garnets can change colors, fluorite, spinel, and even this one, which is a newer one that people are looking for now. It's called diaspore, or another word for it is zultanite. And so this one is actually quite rare in natural form. And if you can find it, it is also very expensive. So there are lots of absolutely beautiful, phenomenal gems out there. One of the things that we know is that not everybody's looking for phenomena. Not everybody's heard of phenomena. Not everybody knows what to look for in phenomena. So now you guys are one step up, and you can go out there and have a look now and look for some of these lovely things. And the question is, which one will you be looking for? Hopefully you like one of these. Great. So I hope that's been helpful. I hope that you have enjoyed it. And Alex, do you want to do the next one?
Yeah, Tanya, thank you very much. That was fascinating.
Shall I ask if there's any questions first? Anyone have any questions? No? Okay. Fantastic. Then I will leave it to you.
Great. So just to sum up, we have these upcoming sessions quite regularly now. We've got spotlights on different gemstones. We have talks on how jewelry is designed and how jewelry is fabricated. And we also have tips on things like selecting for the best value, so how to make a good decision if you're buying a piece of jewelry. All of these are coming up. Please feel free to take a look on the website that you used to register today if you're interested in participating in more of them, and you can also catch them online via YouTube Live. And with that, I wanted to just highlight one last thing. If you want to get to know more about gemstones and jewelry in general, and you want to really delve deeper, we have a fantastic course called Gem and Jewelry Trade Secrets. It's a blended learning course, so it has portions that are online, which you can access in your own time, as well as a hands-on portion where you get to look at over 1,800 gem and jewelry exhibits. And we have a short video on that for you to see now.
You love gemstones and jewelry, but how much do you really know about the rare and beautiful materials that are in your jewelry box? Join me, Tanya Sadow, for a complete hands-on certification that is guaranteed to change the way you appreciate and buy jewelry. Start your journey by traveling to the source. Learn about gemstone origins, see how gems are mined, and how these extraordinarily valuable materials get to the market. You'll learn how to spot good quality gemstones and how to assess value factors for diamonds, colored stones, phenomenal gems, pearls, organic gemstones, and even jade. This comprehensive course gives you the knowledge and power to take control of your gem purchases if you're a collector or an enthusiast, or your sales process if you're a designer or a jewelry professional. Beyond understanding about the gemstones and common trade practices in the jewelry industry, you will also see and learn about imitations, synthetics, and treatments that are sometimes used to enhance or even to deceive. This popular course takes place in our Gem Vault, where participants are able to see and examine my collection of over 1,800 gems and jewelry pieces, which include rare and valuable specimens as well as common imitations found in the jewelry markets in the region. You will complete this course with a clear understanding of gem facts and will be able to avoid misconceptions that can lead to expensive mistakes when buying jewelry and gems. Here are some of the topics that we will cover in this exciting program. First, we'll learn about the wide variety of beautiful natural minerals and the many misconceptions which abound in this field, as well as how to classify and compare gemstones. Knowing more about these gems, we then learn to evaluate color, discover how clarity types are assessed, and see a wide range of cutting styles available in today's market. Diamonds are the next on our agenda. First, we'll understand the modern diamond trade and then gain in-depth knowledge about the 4 C's, which consists of color, clarity, cut, and carat weight, and which will be the most helpful during your next diamond purchase. Next, we'll explore important differences between natural diamonds, synthetic diamonds, and diamond simulants, as well as some tips that will help you in the identification of these gem materials. Pearls are seeing a resurgence in popularity. Our next stop is to discover the varieties of pearls available and their origins, as well as common imitations in the market and ways to identify them. Pearls also have some unique value factors that you need to know about, such as color, luster, shape, make, nacre thickness, and spotting. All of these significantly affect the price of pearls, and knowing them can help you make better buying decisions. Have you heard of asterism, chatoyancy, play of color, aventurescence, adulorescence, iridescence, or even labradorescence? These gemstone phenomena make certain gem materials really stand out from other gems, and knowing how to observe and evaluate these phenomena can help you to select the very best gemstone. Today, in Asia, no gemstone course would be complete without an understanding of jade. This popular material has tremendous cultural significance, but it has also been misunderstood for millennia. Learn about jadeite, or fei chui, and nephrite, the two genuine forms of jade and discover the many, many imitations available on the market today. Not all gemstones are minerals. Some gems are produced by living organisms. These are known as organic gems and have been appreciated by all cultures throughout time. Discover how gems like amber, jet, bone, ivory, shell, and even coral are used in jewelry today, and what to look out for when buying to ensure your purchases are responsible and sustainable. Our last stop is to understand the difference between imitations, synthetics, and assembled gemstones. Here you'll learn the importance of using the right equipment and techniques to test gems, and will appreciate the complexity of the expert field of gemology. Like all JDMIS courses, participants in the Gem and Jewellery Trade Secrets class receive everything they need to fully appreciate the gems, exhibits, and jewellery samples. This includes tools like the jeweler's loop and specialized pen lights and tweezers and gem cloths, as well as reference materials for all of the topics covered. Discover the sparkling world of gemstones and jewelry at JDMIS and see the gemstones in your own collection with a new appreciation. Find out more about our most popular course, Gem and Jewellery Trade Secrets, at jdmis.edu.sg.
So with that, I'd like to remind you that if you would like to participate in courses, we have some vouchers that you can use to offset your tools and materials costs. And beyond that, we'd like to thank you very much for joining us and welcome you back to come to more of our gem jamming sessions in the future.
Great. Thank you so much, everybody. And thank you, everyone online, for joining us. And are there any questions now? No questions. All right, then please do come back and join us again. Thank you very much. Thank you.